Hi friends, I'm a little bit nervous, but it's okay. I'm here to talk about an auto-ethnographic account of education and employment trajectories of transgender people in India, titled Closed Door of Opportunities. So first of all, thank you so much for inviting me for this wonderful discussion, wonderful program, and I'm so privileged to be a part of this. Uh, so mostly I will be talking about my personal experiences. Uh, as we all know, after Transgender People's Protection Right Act came in law, this act prohibits the discrimination against transgender people, uh, including unfair treatments and denial of services in relation to education, employment, health, and access to goods and facilities. But still, as a trans person, I know we all are experiencing uh, difficulties, problems in every day of our life. Also, back in Kerala, um, they just recently started using the term transgender to address transgender people. Before they used this term Muna Lingam, which is third gender in English, and also Binna Lingam in Malayalam to address transgender people, even in media. Uh, but now, still, they are using it to address transgender people. Even though the term transgender was arose in mid 1990s, I believe we trans people have existed in every race, class, and society since the human race has been recorded. History of human race has been recorded. Uh, yeah, so in India, there are a lot of LGBTQI movements happened in recent years, but still there are a lot more to do in fight to get our equality and rights. So first of all, I would like to talk about the issues that trans people are facing in educational institutes. I will say that transgender people, in particular transgender students, are continuously being unrecognized by the successive government and policy makers. Giving a separate column for gender to tick in doesn't solve all of our problems. There are a lot of problems that faced by transgender students. Kerala is hailed as a transgender friendly state. We have 2% of reservation for transgender people in every colleges for graduation courses. But still, the number of dropping out is higher than the number of admissions. So, people are dropping out their courses because of continuous bullying, harassment from their educational institutes. Uh, I have this personal experience back in 2016 when I was studying in school. Uh, my friends always treated me differently. I was at that time I was exploring my gender identity. I used to express my gender identity when I was studying in school. So these people treated me like an alien. They don't even talk to me. They don't sit next to me. They don't touch me as if I have a disease. Even my teachers made me to sit separately because I was more inclined to express masculinity back in those days. And also, I recall an incident in my during my school days that I was a part of National Service Scheme Unit. I was an NSS volunteer, and one day my trainer said that I am expelled from NSS for no reason. And he said that they don't want this kind of people in our NSS unit. And he used an offensive term, "Aanum pennum kettadu." And if you're a girl, be like a girl. That's what he said. And if you are expressing my gender identity as my assigned sex, then he said he will consider it. So that's a painful experience that I had in my school days. Still, there are a lot of students, trans students, facing these issues. And after a few years, the same trainer in NSS invited me to inaugurate the NSS function, and I took gender sensitization classes for those students. And but unfortunately, he didn't apologize for what he did. But I thought, oh, anyway, they invited me for this program. I was so happy and proud to be a part of the program because that organization rejected me once. And when I got recognized, when I got this visibility, they invited me for this program. But it was not that reality. The government, it was mandatory to invite a transgender person for NSS program by, there was a, from the government, they told that it is mandatory for the transgender person to conduct sensitization classes. So they don't know any other transgender person in person, so that's why they called me. Uh, yeah. Also, uh, in Kerala, many friends of mine dropped out during their graduation courses. Even for example, yesterday. Her name is Rantoni was talking about Calicut Medical College anti-ragging policy. Calicut Medical College is the first medical college to pass and implement an anti-ragging policy. But in the same college, recently trans woman came out. And in Idaho Day, I was a part of their Google Meet. And these students, most of them, they are saying that they are not comfortable in sharing a space with a trans woman. So, also, yeah, as Aksa said, in their even in the curriculum of medical students, they are studying as a like they are learning many offensive things about transgender and queer people. As they have, there is a forensic textbook, they have mentioned it as a lesbianism as a perversion there, and they believe that people become lesbian if they stay together in a hostel, women's hostel, if they study together in a girls only school. They have mentioned that this is the reason to become a lesbian. That's how it's written in the forensic medicine textbook. And also there, those students are very phobic. They celebrate Pride Month. They conduct trans-friendly welfare programs for transgenders. They claims that it is a transgender-friendly campus. They have Cure Club in their college, but internally they are phobic. They want to show the public that they are progressive by celebrating Pride, by posting pictures in Instagram during the Pride month, but they treat the students in mainstream social perception. That's what I believe. And also when it comes to employment, we trans people face a lot of discrimination from the workplace. I can say there was a research done by National Human Rights Commission. It says that 96% of transgender people are denied job, even they are qualified for the job. And also 79% of transgender people are living in shared rooms or rented rooms. They are earning only salaries below 10,000 rupees. So they cannot afford the cost of the hostel and rented houses. And also most of the landlords doesn't even give them space to stay. In Kerala, as a progressive movement, our metro hired 23 transgender people as for temporary vacancy under the organization Kudumbashree. They hired them, and most of them quit their job because they were earning less than 8,000, I think 8,000 rupees, and in a place like Kochi, they cannot even afford the price of the accommodation. So most of them quit their job and they went for sex work and other jobs. So this is the reality in our in employment sector in everywhere in India. Also, we don't have reservation in government sector and private sector, and I think only few percentage of people are working with private sector and NGOs. So we need to find a solution to overcome this scenario. And also I want to share some experiences of mine as well. Uh, I'm a trans man and I'm a trainee pilot. So in India, there are a lot of people who hold the first transgender tags, like first transgender professor, first transgender doctor, first transgender lawyer. There are a lot of people who hold this tag. But these people are facing a lot of issues in their workspace. For example, Manopi Banobhadhyay, she was the professor in a college, and she quit her job due to the mistreatment from her own colleagues. She was not even able to use toilets. They didn't had a gender neutral toilets. And there are a lot of people like Shabi. Shabi got fired from Navy for revealing her gender identity. Still, she is fighting in the court for her rights. And when it comes to aviation, there are a lot of people still fighting for their rights. I know two people in person. One is Myra Bandaliga. She's the first air traffic controller, and she is working in Mumbai airport. Mumbai is the busiest airport. But still, when she revealed her identity, they denied her medical, and she fought for it, and finally the court agreed her to join back to her work. Sometimes they don't even give her the job to give instructions for the pilot, like as an ATC, but they give her some other jobs in the airport. So she felt really uncomfortable, and she have to do medical tests uh, in every 6 months. For cis people, it's they just have to do the medical test in 2 years and 1 year. But for her, they made her to do the test in every 6 months. And there is another person, Shanvi Punuswamy. Air India denied her job when she revealed her identity. And she even filed a petition for mercy killing. After that, it was the only uh, earning for her, and they denied her job. She applied for jobs in 20 companies. Everybody denied her job. Then finally, Air India appointed her for the ground as a ground staff. Then when she transitioned and applied for a job in Air India, our own airline, our government's airline, denied her job. Yeah. And in my case, I'm a transgender person, and when I revealed my identity, when I applied for the course, luckily I got admission. I got the scholarship from Kerala government to continue my commercial pilot license. I was born in an Orthodox Muslim family, and I went for pilot training when I was 17 years old to South Africa. And at that time, I revealed my identity. I came out as a trans man. Then my parents stopped my paying my fees, and I dropped out. At that time, I had my private pilot license. Then I came back to India. I was house arrested for an year, and they took me through a lot of invisible correction therapies, and physically and mentally they abused me. And I had no other option other than running away from my home. At the age of 19, I ran away from my home, and I found myself shelter at railway stations and bus stand. I didn't had anything because my parents burned all my clothes and they destroyed my phone. So at first I didn't had any option. My mother gave me 500 rupees, and she said, just run away anywhere, otherwise they are going to kill you, because my family was ashamed of my gender identity. So for weeks, I used to wear the same dress and stayed in railway stations. And um, luckily, I got a job in an aviation academy for classes because I had a pilot license. Also, I used to work in, I'm like Johnny since I used to work in a juice shop as a juice maker. I used to be a delivery boy. I used to work as an electrician. I used to work as a cleaner and caretaker to survive. So at that time, my community, transgender people, helped me to get jobs in juice stalls, which was ran by transgender people. At that time, I didn't had any hope that I would get back to my career. I only had a single dream, that to survive myself every day. When I left my home, I had a dream that I want to live a single day as me. I want to live in my identity. That was my dream. Then, yeah, I struggled a lot, and at that time when I used to work in juice stall, my earning was 300 rupees. I have to work. I wake up in the early morning at 5, and then I start working. Then at 1 o'clock, I'll finish the job. Then I have to go to the owner's house and I have to clean their home. I have to work for them. Then I only get few hours to sleep, even to sleep. That's how I survived, and I didn't stop. I found a lot of, met a lot of people, and I talked to them, and luckily I got a chance to be a part of a news. When Abhinandu Varthaman's incident happened, they invited me to talk about it. So I shared my experience as also along with it. So then it went viral, and the government recognized me. Also for this scholarship, I went several times to the government officers, and finally they sanctioned my scholarship. And at that time, I didn't had any job. So Anil from Chilla Ananya organization, it is an organization for children of sex workers. So he is the one who took care of me, and he gave me shelter, and I stayed there and prepared my documents to join Aviation Academy. So I joined in Rajiv Gandhi Aviation Academy. When we talk about discrimination in uh, educational institute, that academy is a progressive space, but still I got isolated in that academy for revealing my identity. Even though I have visibility, I had two friends in my academy. They're girls. We had only two girls in the academy, so they were my friends. I'm afraid to be friends with cis men, so I'm not comfortable. Sorry. At that time, suddenly they stopped talking to me. I didn't know why. And one day, one girl said me that one of my classmates said not to talk to these kind of people. They are not good. They are blah blah blah. That's what they said to my friends. And then they suddenly stopped talking to me. It was recent. It was before 6 months, I think. Yeah. So then I stopped going to the academy for ground classes. I started studying myself. Also, the really bad thing that happened to me was when I applied for medical. I know the case of Myra Bandaliga. She was denied medical for doing hormone therapy and her surgeries. Getting a medical in aviation industry is a really hard thing for even for cis people. So as a trans man, when I applied for my medical, uh, they have a column for transgender, but the thing is that we cannot use it. There is a column, but we cannot use it. So I applied for the medical, and I wrote a letter stating that I am a trans person and I would like to get a class 2 medical. Class 2 medical is the basic one, and we have to get another one, which is class 1 medical to join to start flying in India. So when I came to Bangalore, I got appointment in Bangalore IAM for medicals. When I came to Bangalore, these people were very curious, and they I went through, I was subjected to invisible medical, mental and physical procedures. For cisgender people, it only costs 6,000, 5,000 to 6,000 rupees for medical tests. For me, it costed around 60,000 rupees for medical tests. And for cis people, it only takes a single day for the medical tests. For me, they made me to stay here for a month. And I'm a person who is struggling to survive every day, so I didn't had any accommodation. So Christy, one of my friend who is staying in Bangalore, he's the one who helped me to stay, find shelter here. So these people made it very really hard. Even though I'm getting a scholarship from the government, they don't provide additional costs like my other expenses. They do provide hostel fees, but it takes years, it takes months to get it sanctioned. So I'm surviving every day by doing this small work, so it was not affordable. Luckily, I got this fund from producer of a documentary producer who did a documentary with it with me. So luckily, I paid that fees, and I went through a lot of medical tests, also psychometric tests. For trans people, we have to go through a lot of psychological procedures and tests. they made me to go through a lot of tests, and you know what questions they asked me? They are asking me, like, they were so curious to know about my sexuality, gender, and my organs. They were asking that how I am going to have sex with a girl, and they asked how I am going to get married. Do you get a girl to date? Have you had your surgery? Why are you growing beard? These are the questions asked by a psychiatrist, aviation psychiatrist. And I thought, I know that I'm going to fly the aircraft. I'm not going to marry the aircraft. They just want to know the know my sexuality. And they said after the test, I had no other issues. In spite of the impeccable medical reports, with no clinical indication that endanger aviation safety, they denied my medical certificate. They denied my medical for me undergoing transition. They wrote that I have gender dysphoria. As per WHO's ICD-11, they declassified gender incongruence from diseases. It comes under sexual education part, I think. Yeah, sexual health. And they replaced the term dysphoria, gender dysphoria, to gender incongruence. But still, these doctors, they wrote that I am having gender dysphoria. So they denied my medical certificate, and I went to get it done, and they said me to stop transitioning. The people from IAM, they made me to write a declaration that I won't do transition and I'm going to detransition. I won't do any hormone therapy surgery, and they want me to sign it. Then I called the government, the people in the government, and I asked them what to do. They said just sign it. It's a piece of paper. From that time, I stopped hormone therapy, and I didn't had surgery at that time. And I sacrificed my identity for my career, and I was really screwed up. So then after that, even we have to apply for to write examination in aviation for pilot training. We have to apply for computer number. I applied for computer number. These people said I cannot grow my beard and I cannot change my documents. And when I applied for computer number, they rejected my computer number because I haven't changed my documents to male or transgender. It was in female identity, and they rejected it because my face looks like a man, and they are quoting it. I was surprised they are quoting it. I have mismatches in my ID, photos, and they rejected it several times again. And I got my scholarship in 2019. Till now, I haven't flown aircraft in India. Also, when I was going through the medical inspection in IAM, they made me to strip all my clothes, and they examined. And you know what they said? One day, I was staying in the accommodation, and suddenly I got a call at midnight from an Air Force officer, and he said that I want to examine your genitals. It's not official purpose, but I just want to examine. That's what he said. I wanted to share it to, at that time, I was very afraid, and I shared it to my friends. Then they said, don't tell anything now because they are going to reject your medical again. So at that time, I didn't share it to anyone. Then I thought, why am I struggling like this? Why should I hide my identity for my career? Then I decided I'm not going to sacrifice my identity for anything. I want both. I want to live with my own identity, and I want my career as well. So I talked to the people in the government, and they agreed to send me, they promised me that they will send me abroad for my higher education. But I'm not going to stop here. At that time, when my medical got denied, Jaina ma'am called me, and she asked me whether I need any help. Also, Arvind sir, many people helped me, but at that time I was afraid. Even the government was not ready to take a case or petition, challenge this case, because they were also afraid that They thought that I'm going to waste a lot of time going behind the cases. But now I got this opportunity to continue my education. Yeah, thank you. And now I'm going to fight for my rights, not just for my rights. There are a lot of trans people who wish to become pilots, who wish to enter into the aviation industry. So I want to open a door for everybody. If I stop from here, they are going to do it with other people as well. You know what he said when I left the IAM medical center? They said, we don't want to risk 200 people's lives by giving job to these kind of people. That's what they said. They said they asked me to quit this career, and they don't want transgender people to be in aviation. And they also added that you people have many other options. Why are you choosing this profession? And if they give medical to a single person, for me, they are worried that they will have to give it to another people. They said it to me. And now, yeah, I will be going with the cases. I'm going to challenge DGCA in High Court. And Jaina ma'am promised me that she will assist me with the case. Yeah, so this is the reality of trans people in India. So we have to find solution, and we need a policy for transgender people. Whenever a company hires a transgender person, they should have a policy for trans people. They should make sure that they are paying equal wages and providing equal facilities for transgender people, including medical insurance and other facilities they should provide for trans people. And in aviation as well, we need a proper guideline and policy for transgender people. That's what I dream. That's my wish. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for this platform.
Thank you. Thank you so much.